Okay, I've been meaning to make this video for a while now. I'm even gonna put this on the guide channel as well. I've been able to be as strong as I am now, even in the worst of times, of especially going through the targeting that I'm going through on a daily basis. And it's mostly because I started looking things outside of the box as I was growing up. And I started to realize that a lot of the things that like most adults would do when I was a child was it was somewhat off. But it wasn't all adults that were like this. And as I got older, I started to take a lot of the information that I was given, like advice and stuff like that, but not directly serious. I would keep it to the side, and then I would basically analyze the information and then see which was more valid and see what was the downside of that information. And that's when I started to learn that there was a lot of adults out there leading people astray. When the time came when I became an adult myself, I started to see the effects of what they were doing that had on the kids. And then I started to understand like what was really effing up society. It was kids who were just too far impressionable, and it was just reckless adults who were orchestrating this. But it wasn't all adults doing this. Later along the line, I started to see the truth behind a lot of things that were going on. A lot of the I started to see through a lot of the lies, a lot of the red tape that they would put up, a lot of the propaganda, a lot of the fabricated stories, the fabricated stuff that they would put out there. And I started to realize that they would do these things to basically covertly switch attention elsewhere so that they can do something else that they did not want to be seen by, by the general public. Then I took it a step further and started to see stuff that was a lot of multiple things that were set up in the past, as well as stuff that were currently being set up in the present. This was the starting line for my targeting here. And it was as soon as I started to actually speak out doing my rant vids, that where my targeting started to become a little bit more noticeable. But I've been targeted by this organization since I was a child. For some reason, they never really alerted themselves, but I did, as I stated in one of my previous videos, I've seen some very odd things growing up, a lot of mysterious things. You probably already heard about it, but this video is not really about that. What this video is mainly about is mainly how I grew up to become the man that I am today, to see things the way I see them as now. And I gotta say, to just about all the targeted individuals who I've met on social media, you truly have my thanks, okay? You really do. Because when I first got targeted from this, I was lost and I had absolutely no idea what was going on. It wasn't until I started to do my research that I started to find out things for what they really were. But I'm gonna go ahead and get into the main topic of what this video was about. When it comes to life, you need to understand one simple thing. These individuals who were like living in these high class houses or apartments or like 5-star motels and stuff like this, who are driving really nice cars, or these perps who infiltrate the streets who are making like around $25 an hour to perpetrate and do the stuff that they're doing. You need to understand this one simple thing. Where there's something real good to them when it's coming from an act of wickedness, that wickedness shall be punished by God. You need to understand that. The more they're getting, the more they're going to have to pay back when the time comes. They're always going to ignore this, even what I'm saying now. They're going to pretend like it's not going to happen. They're going to even tell themselves it's not going to happen. But you got to understand, this is the mindset of what they're coming from. They are basically influenced by the devil. There is no understanding there. There's no love, no acknowledgement, no room for improvement of anything. It's nothing. When it comes to them, it's nothing but pure destruction, pure hatefulness, and lack of understanding, and lack to actually teach that understanding upon to others. Life itself is nothing but a trial. It doesn't matter what you have, then it doesn't matter what you can get during. All that matters is how you get through it. Don't ever stoop to a line of ever, and I'm not saying anybody would, but don't ever stoop to a line of taking your own life in a situation like this. When your time comes, it will come. Okay? That's it for all of us. Death itself is inevitable. We can't change that. But we can determine how our fates end into a point of how it builds up to our end. And what I mean by this is that don't let these temptations get a hold of you. Always repent for your sins. Always apologize for any sins that you commit upon yourself or onto others. And that's what I do every day. Every day. But I know one thing, though. Even with this technology out there, God is still watching. God knows, the Most High knows that there are individuals out there who are planting this technology in locations. The Most High knows that there are people of wickedness hiding amongst the shadows, hiding amongst the general public, doing these things. And when their time comes, they're not going to be able to hide. You need to understand, eternal damnation is not a joke. There is no joke. There is no joking about that at all. If you haven't seen the video I left on this channel before, it's called the Workers of Iniquity. And the video in there that has the link to where you need to watch, it basically tells you all the chapters within the Bible where the workers of iniquity are being mentioned within the Bibles in certain chapters. Now, basically, the workers of iniquity, if you didn't know, are basically the definition of a gang stalker, or gang stalkers in this case. Whenever I pray, I always let God know. Despite the fact that even though this technology, that these perpetrators who are influenced by the devil's intuition, the devil's wants, its needs, or whatever it is that's going on, I always let the Most High know. All my prayers will never be to no man or to no technology. I only pray to the Creator, not the creation. I never pray to a man, but I can pray for a man. But I will never pray to technology under no circumstances. And that no matter what happens, my faith will forever remain true, even if technology seeks to, to try to control a person. Even if it seeks, my faith will always remain the same in a spirituality sense. But yeah, man. Thing about this is that when it comes to these gang stalkers and all that, there's no understanding there. The only understanding that they have is that the more and more they target you, the more and more reactions they get out of you, the more money they're gonna make. That's basically what it is. It's all to generate a response. They don't care whether you plead. They don't care whether you try to make sense out of the situation. It doesn't work with them because whatever true self they had has already been siphoned off. It's already been gone, man. And it happened due to influence through peer pressure in society, in entertainment. I thank God every day because I could have ended up no different than them. But I believe that the Most High, I believe for those of us who are awake, the Most High has seen value in us. Otherwise, you gotta stop looking so much at all the bad and start looking at the good. Think about it. It could be 10 times worse. You could be blinded from the truth and not know what's really going on and not even have the opportunity to save yourself and save and, preach about the events that what's going on and basically warn others about what's going on and be able to not just save yourself, but save others as well. Can you imagine just being condemned to hell without even the slightest bit of, but with literally just being manipulated by, these things that they have been doing lately? And yes, if you didn't know, they have been messing with the Bible. If you haven't seen, I think I left a link to this lady's channel. They've been it's all a part of this new world government thing that they got going on. That how they plan on changing the Bible into their standards. They have already been working on that. But I thank God every day because I know the fact that I'm able to see all of this, the fact of all the information that I have found through the help and the research of other fellow targeted individuals and all that stuff. And you got to understand, I truly, truly am grateful to all of you. When you make videos, when you share information to help out, I am truly grateful for that. When you talk about your situation, I am truly grateful for that because what that does is it shows that we are not alone out there. We're not alone out there. We don't ever think that you are. None of us are. They'll keep you surrounded by perps. Why? Because they want to influence you that they have control. They want to get you addicted to technology. Why? Because they want to have control. They want to put you in a state of fear. Why? Because they want to have control. They want to take things away from you that you love and care for. Why? Because they want to have control. Everything that they do, everything that they say, every attempt that they make from any action that they portray, act upon, or plan is all meant for control. That's it. Whether it's to get you to react, whether it's to get you to talk, whether it's to set you up, or no matter what it is, that's precisely the case. It's all for control. I'm say it again. When I pray to no man, but I can pray for a man. I will never, in this life or the next, I will never pray to technology. I pray to the creator, not the creation, and certainly not a byproduct of the creation. If you want to know, God, the Most High, is the creator, man, and all of other creations, as well as the plants, animals, and all that stuff, is the creation, and technology is the byproduct of the creation of man. I swear though, as I started to see things more and more clearly from as I'm growing up, I started to understand, like, when it came to relationships, I started to as I was growing up, I started to give up more and more on those, but it didn't mean that I was failing at something. No, because I wanted to find value within myself due to this, and that's what I was able to do. That's why I've been able to become as strong as I am, even today. And even most of my strength, even that I have now that I didn't have before, I owe thanks to all of you. So understand, you have all of you, all fellow targeted individuals. If you are hearing this right now, if you are watching this right now, you have my most sincerest thanks. I know we're slowly approaching the tribulation period day by day. But remember, the closer and the stronger your bond is with God, the more desperate the devil is going to be to destroy that bond. The devil's going to do this through so many acts, through so many temptations, through so many plans, through so many deceitful acts, that it will be seeking to destroy you, to break you down, because your bond is that strong. So the more and more bad things that happen means that the more and more your bond with God is strong. So don't ever be discouraged when bad things happen, because remember, those who portrayed out on those perpetrous acts will answer for their mischievousness. They will answer to all of that. Remember, most of these types of individuals, they don't act desperate unless the threat is right there in their face. That's what it is. If they don't see a threat, if they don't really see a threat, they just get fully relaxed, and that's just it. I know this because I gave them a warning straight to their face before, saying that if I caught any of the footage that they were taking of me on social media, that I would find it. That tells you a lot. This is MM. I'm over and out.